Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today, we're taking a look at the Beast Deities Fenrir, aka DBZ Broly. This is the reissue one. I screwed around and missed out on the first issue here earlier this year, but I was lucky enough to get this one and another version of him from this go around. And he just showed up on my porch today, so I thought I would do a video on him. I know you've seen plenty of videos on this guy, I'm sure, at this point, so you know most of his specs, but it is new to me. So I'd like to go over him really quick and, just basically take a look at him. Let's start out with his package. It is a freaking ginormous package. I am having trouble getting it in the screen, but it says some crazy stuff in Norse right up there on top. It's got a guy with a gray wolf head right there. It says Fenrir on the bottom. Says Fenrir here on the top. I know you can't really see that. And it has a really cool back to it. I didn't know it says all this stuff that it says. I guess without owning it, you wouldn't know. But if you want to pause the video and read all that, you can. It's typical, Beast Deity stuff. So it comes with 3 different little packages. This right here comes with the head sculpt in it. Looks good, but I'm not a big fan. And of course, this right here has all the face plates in it. Not my favorite packaging. No windows, so I never know what's inside there.
What's in the fucking box?
I guess it will work. Let's get him off the stand really quick and see how tall this freaking ginormous behemoth is. To the top of his head, his spiky hair, he is right at 10.5 inches, and down to his hairline is about 9 inches. So he has a lot of hair, which would make the entire figure overall right at 27 centimeters. So this dude is a monster, but let's stand him next to some other figures and see just how monstrous he is. And first up, I'm going to put him next to the Demoniacal Fit Legendary Berserker. I didn't want to dig out my SH Figure Arts version of this. They're the exact same mold, so this will perfectly do. Good gosh, that size disparity is incredible, but they both look really, really nice. It's basically the same character design, just a little bit of different interpretation and execution, but I think they both look really, really good. And next up, I've got him with one of the crown jewels of my collection, the Full Power Broly from SH Figure Arts. And I still think Broly's sculpt and paint and finish and stuff is a little bit better, but man, they both look fantastic next to each other. I'm really glad to kind of have this thing in a lot of ways. And just for fun, I wanted to put him next to the Marvel Select Red Hulk, honestly, just to give you a nice visual of how big this guy really is. He is freaking enormous, and they both look awesome. And lastly, I wanted to put him next to a Garden Variety Goku. This is the first one I could grab that was back there with all my stuff. But the height, oh my goodness gracious, Broly, this version anyway, might almost be too big, but I still think they both look really good. Hey, real quick, I'm trying to get the channel to 2,000 subscribers, and I need your help. So like the video, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now for accessories, he comes with all kinds of different stuff. He comes with 2 different head sculpts, basically. He comes with the gray wolf head sculpt on him in the package. And of course, he comes with the Super Saiyan hair sculpt. This one is the green first appearance version, and it looks really, really nice. He also gets 4 different face plates. He gets a serious face that I've got on the figure right there, but he also has a smirking face, a teeth gritting smirking face, and an open mouth yelling face. All of them look great. He comes with 11 different hands. He comes with 2 claw hands on him in the package that I think look really, really good, and then a wide assortment of open hands and fist hands. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out which Goku this tuft of hair in the hand effect goes to, but that doesn't really matter. And of course, he comes with 2 different energy balls that look super awesome. They are sculpted really, really well, and I like the kind of plastic they use. He gets a ginormous set of cross arms attachments. Those things are huge as shit. And he also comes with a set of exchangeable like earrings for the face plates, and I think that's pretty neat. And lastly, he gets a cloth wired cape. Don't really know, but it's black, and it's actually done pretty well, to be quite honest with you. So a very nice spread of stuff. Now for aesthetic, this guy is chock full of it. It looks really, really nice. He has a nice matte finish all over the figure. Overall, I think he probably does look better than the SH Figure Arts / Demoniacal Fit version of the DBZ Broly. And if you've watched my videos, you know how much I absolutely love that figure. But this guy looks super good. The muscularity is nice and organic, and he's very proportioned. He's not super bubbly, even though Broly can get kind of bubbly, you know, in certain illustrations. But man, this does look really good. He's got subtle shading throughout all the musculature on the front and back of him that looks really good, and it's placed very, very well. A little bit of shading in the pants through there. It's very, very subtle, and you actually kind of have to look for it, but I kind of like that because it just adds kind of almost natural shading to it, or like, you know, shades, not shading. The hair, this version, I got the green one, you know, the original or first appearance or whatever of him, and I like it a lot. The sculpt is fantastic. It is huge and tall, super spiky. It is certified weapon level, pointy and sharp, so be careful if you get this, which, you know, we'll talk about whether or not I recommend it later. It's got some shading around the roots that looks good. All four of the face plates look very nice, very sharp, with nice line work and line work around the eyes. I like the necklace. It has got some sculpt around just the chain part, and that looks super duper good. The jewel looks good. Every jewel on the figure looks really good. They're all blue and look really, really nice. The golds throughout the figure look nice. The chest part right here, I want to talk about this, because this is soft plastic, just kind of like how a Storm Collectibles would be. And in a lot of ways, I like that choice, but we'll kind of circle back to that here in a minute, because I take an issue with it in one regard. This right here is nice soft plastic. This does not, or we'll see whether or not it gets in the way of articulation. Spoiler, it does not. And I like the look of it. Could I have used some shading on it? Yeah, but I'm not going to freak out about it because it is done very, very well. I like the feet. They're a little bit bigger. Obviously, he's a bigger figure, so the feet got to be bigger, but they're bigger in proportion to his size as well, you know, in contrast to like the SHF version, where, you know, he had some balance issues. This guy does not. So overall, he looks really, really good. Now, I want to address a concern I have, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to notice this. That right there, that split, do you see that? That is on both sides, and that is going to come apart at some point. That looks like it is just holding on by a thread, and I don't really like that. Somebody tell me down in the comments if they have noticed that as well. I'm probably going to put a little bit of super glue and rub it kind of thin to kind of reinforce both sides, but that makes me nervous about handling the figure too much. And you know, obviously these things are meant to be handled and displayed, so that could be a future problem down the road. But other than that, as far as his aesthetic, there's nothing to complain about. He looks fantastic. Now, for his articulation, I was pleasantly surprised for the most part. But let's just start with his head and neck, because he has a nice neck joint in here that will look forward very nicely, and he can tuck that chin in good. We all know this is a Broly, and Brolys don't look up, but you can kind of squish him in and kind of give him a little bit of a look up, but it does squash the soft plastic portion there, so be aware of that. Shoulders come out a little bit above 90 degrees. That isn't too darn bad. Little tight, but he's brand new, so I can get over it. Full 360, of course. He has a butterfly built in here, and in conjunction with that soft chest, will bring the arm across the body very nicely. Minimal gapping just right there, but that's honestly not that big of a deal. And it brings the shoulders back as well. So I really, really like how they've got that done. That's pretty darn good. Bicep swivel that looks pretty darn good. Now, double jointed elbow that you don't really get hardly any range out of. I'm going to be generous and call that 90. It's probably a degree or so shy of 90, but the elbow itself actually doesn't look that good. That right through there, that's quite a bit of gap. But the rest of the sculpt is so good you can kind of overlook it, but I do want to point that out. So the elbow's not so awesome as far as range of motion. Now the wrists are a ball hinge like they always are, if I can find the thing. Yeah, they work just fine, a little tight, but you do get your rotation and all that good junk out of that. Now, back to his abdomen. He's got a diaphragm break, and I'm 99% sure that is a double ball peg in there. So he will crunch forward on it a little. He'll lean back just a little, and you do get a little bit of tilt and some twist out of that alone. He's got a ball peg down here in the waist where the majority of your twist should be coming from, and it has some extra lean with no overly noticeable gapping. But that does reinforce that I worry about this splitting at some point. If you start twisting around on him too much, that would be extremely disappointing to anybody that pays the kind of money we pay for these. I think, out the door, he's around $100. That is not cheap. And if that were to split and tear up your chest piece, that would be so unfortunate and bad. So, proceed with caution. Now his legs, let's talk about some really awesome stuff. I showed you how flexible and wonderful this material that his little skirt piece is made out of. And if you look under there, it's not drop downs like the Demoniacal Fit and the SH Figure Arts. This is actually that 3.0 leg technology. And his legs will come out to darn near a full-on split for a Broly figure. That is beautiful. And even though the skirt would hide it, no dangly bits. So that is wonderful. Very nice kick up to the waist. I will take that all day long. He actually has some Broly booty, but this is kind of soft, so you can kick the leg back a little bit. I know the skirt is hiding it, but it will do it. Thigh swivel, that thigh swivels. Double jointed knee, kind of the same issue as the elbow. Come out to about 90, and that's really about all you're going to get. This knee is okay looking, not the best thing, but it's not the worst either. Ankles down here do get rotation that is hidden very nicely underneath the shin gauntlet, but not much up or down, to be quite honest. You're just not getting it. I can't tell, even though I've tried to look up underneath that. I think that's a ball hinge right there, but it's just not giving you much, and you don't really get any ankle rocker either. No peg holes in the bottoms of his giant feet. And his toe hinge doesn't look very good either. That looks like the front of his foot is getting ready to come off. But again, nitpicks really at that point once you get to the ankles and below. Otherwise, he moves surprisingly well for the most part. Okay, final thoughts on the Beast Deities DBZ Broly here. Overall, I like the figure a lot, but I do want to lay out a couple of warnings. One, the seam right there in the soft plastic part of the torso that will separate at some point if you finagle with this too much, so keep that in mind. And two, where he's a Beast Deities, you've got to assemble him, and I don't like that. I had a very, very hard time getting the head on here, and I was afraid I was going to break it the entire time I was doing it. But luckily, this figure looks fantastic. Maybe a little too big in some ways, at least for a 1/12, but it does work because Broly's huge. He looks gorgeous, moves very, very well, other than his abdomen, torso area doesn't move super duper good, but his legs and shoulders and everything move good. The elbows and the ankles and knees, not so awesome. Great spread of accessories. But he's a bit expensive at $100. Overall, I am going to give him a B. Lots of room for improvement, but he is a good figure. If you want him, buy him, just be careful with him. That is all I've got for this Broly. Subscribe, get us to 2,000 subscribers. And with all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.